Hi, so welcome to the latest edition of Fitter for 40. I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Daniel Casme, who, if you watch the original episode, was one of the gentlemen I described as an inspiration for the whole 12-month programme. So, welcome, Daniel.
Nice to be here.
Thank you. I just wanted it'd be great to hear some of your story, really, that has kind of inspired me so much.
Okay, fine. Very kind of you to sort of have me here. October 2018, I went to my GP for the sort of the regular annual sort of health check and this, that, and the other, and he sort of wheels me in and he says, "I've got some news for you. You're not going to be very happy about." I said, "What?" He said, "You've actually got diabetes." Oh my God, you're joking! This, that, and the other. Type 2 diabetes. I don't really need to have that. That's bad. So I said, okay, fine, let me go see a sort of a doctor. So I went off and I found myself a good diabetes doctor, really good, Professor New. If anybody wants to go and see him, he's ace. And he explained to me, you can beat this thing. And what you have to do to beat this thing is you have to effectively put your body into shutdown and flush it out. So he put me on an 800 calorie a day diet, which I stuck to. I lost 500 stone. I lost 5 stone, which was just amazing. And it forced me into sort of a lifestyle change as well. So not only did I change my diet, I changed my lifestyle, and I now have a sort of, a lifestyle where I have a sort of quite a strict exercise regime. So I will really sort of, exercise 5 or 6 days a week. I'll cycle to the office a few days a week. And I've, really just found it's been very helpful. My diet is now much more sensible. I will avoid alcohol. I will avoid sugary stuff. Try and stay away from from fatty foods, not all the time, but most of the time. And then the real cool thing was that after 4 or 5 months, I went back for some more tests with the doctor, and he said, actually, you've really managed to do this really well. You've crashed your body, and you've got rid of that diabetes. So I'm fantastic. It's gone away. And I don't want it to come back again. So I've got a focus and I've got an incentive to keep going. And so far, so good.
And, I think from that, it just, you describe your purpose in terms of going to the doctor, and that was the kind of real kickstart. Just to share that the inspiration for me was we went to Barry's Boot Camp, which I know you go and do a lot of exercise, micro activity. And it was like seeing this guy who was just insane. He was like beating us all youngsters, and I'm quite competitive and was blowing tremendously, feeling like I was going to crash at any moment in time. But there was an inner steel in me that said, I'd love to get to that. Yeah. And I knew I had a similar thing where I was 17 stone, the most I've ever been. I've not been told I've got diabetes. I've not got to that point, but it was like, actually, there's something in this. Having heard your story, that when actually I'm just going to try and prevent that. Wait till
very
the doctor.
Sensible.
And that's why it's really inspiring. And just to share, I remember as one of our first meals out ever, and I saw you eat a salad. I'm going, you can have anything you want on the menu. This guy's got a salad and a Diet Coke. And I remember going, I ordered steak and chips, probably standard at that point. And a pint of Peroni, and I'm kind of going, this stuff is a really good meal, and this guy's really missing out. And it's amazing now, because after I went out with the team, after I'd done some development with them, I was the guy that chose the salad and the Diet Coke. And there was a few people who chose steak and chips.
Yeah.
And it's amazing the difference in terms of mindset.
Yeah, no, I come prepared. I focus on on diet. It's really important because it has to be a lifestyle thing, because you can go and do tons of exercise, but actually it's the stuff that goes in your mouth that makes a real big difference. And you've just got to be, I said to you when we were talking about it, you actually end up being quite selfish. And it is about you, because it is about you. That's what it is. And it can get a little bit boring, but actually you've just got to be really determined with this stuff. And for me, the diet thing, that's kind of tough, but it's fine. But when you sort of get those good notes, you jump on the scales. It's great, and you just keep going. And it's a total lifestyle thing.
And it's really interesting because of all the stuff that you talked about, that we talked about. Yes, you had a really inspiring story. You had your purpose kind of nailed on. But the thing for me was about being focused, about being selfish. I've since changed that language because I struggle with that internally, and morals is kind of going laser focused, being like really disciplined, if you like, with this stuff. Like you say, you've got to make changes because ultimately you're driving a different result.
Yeah.
Is there anything you found at home that changed when you kind of then went into this new lifestyle? Were there any challenges maybe at the start, particularly?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's quite interesting because you're. I'm very lucky that my wife is really health conscious, and she just makes really sort of healthy meals anyway. So the starting point there is really good. But we live in a busy house where there's lots of kids and stuff, and there's always some distraction. Somebody's always got some confectionery, some chocolates, some this, that, and the other. And it's it's really hard sometimes just to sort of resist. And I think I started on the route of just being no, can't do anything. And then you just realise that actually you can have a little bit here and there. But otherwise, you're just going to end up jumping fully fledged, fully back in. And so just it's about perspective and it's about balance, to be honest with you. So yeah, and I think when you're into this zone, you're living with people, you're almost expecting them to all be in it, and you've just had to realize, no, it's me, and that's what I want to do for myself, and just be a bit tolerant. Everybody else wants to sort of eat a plate of chips. They can do that. It doesn't mean to say I've got to, and you just learn a discipline of just saying, okay, that's fine, no problem.
And I had an absolute revelation this week doing induction.
Yeah. So
chips and pizza came out,
right.
And I went upstairs and had a salad. And I was kind of like, it was a totally different, again, mindset.
Yeah, it's just, I think it becomes a habit, and you just start to create good habits. And once those habits come through, it's fine. So the exercise regime every day, it just becomes a habit. Eating healthily, it just becomes a habit. And I think as long as you make that a sort of a positive habit, I think it's actually fine. And I'm big advocate.
So I guess just signing off, kind of a summary, a couple of things is, my takeaways are what you put in your body is really important. And for me, what I'm doing is focusing on just good choices, not even a diet necessarily or calorie counting, which I know some people do, and that's cool. Daniel's talked there about exercise. I'm taking an approach where I'm saying I'm doing activity, because it all counts. So that might be gardening, not this time of year, or walking from the car park to work, whatever it may be. But following something where you are really passionate about it and you get movement actually overall. And then I think the final thing for me is, and the most important you've talked about there, is balance. Like knowing when too much is too much, and listening to your body. And I'm becoming more and more in tune about when you have to have a pause or when you need a blowout. I know I had Burger King at Saturday, and it was really important that I went through that process. I didn't feel guilty about that stuff.
Yeah.
I went, actually, I enjoyed it. I'd been at the match.
Yeah.
And we had nothing in. I was like, what? As a one-off, that's okay.
Yeah, that's right. And it's a one-off, and you do it, and it's fine. I one of my favourite meals is curry, and we've got a great sort of, Uber Eats makes it all very, very easy. And, I'll have a curry. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. I'm not, And I think if I sort of just sit and have a sort of a plate of lentils and cucumber for the rest of my life, it's just, I'm going to become miserable and stuff. So, yeah, it's about balance. We're humans. We both have a good time on this planet as well.
Thanks for the inspiration, and thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Good luck.